You're listening to the Bored to Death Bingecast, talking TV shows and movies in easily digestible chunks. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and other assorted gender assignations. Welcome back to the Bored to Death Bingecast. I am Jay, being joined by
Sam.
And we are here to talk about the first 3 episodes of the new HBO Max DC Extended Universe. Is that what they're calling it? The DCEU?
I guess that's what they're trying to go with, because they don't have any canonical anything anymore. I don't think they know yet.
They're just basically like, this stuff's all loosely connected, unless we say otherwise. Yeah. But we're here to talk about the first 3 episodes of the new HBO Max series, Peacemaker, starring John Cena!
I mean, I was watching it, but I never saw the lead.
Oh, it's nothing. I mean, they've made how many movies about Spider-Man, and they've never revealed who he really is?
That's true.
It's weird, you know? But,
they like to follow around this Peter Parker kid.
Yeah.
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, same. But Peacemaker is a follow-up to the Suicide Squad.
The James Gunn
Suicide Squad, featuring Idris Elba as Bloodsport, and, of course, the inevitable Harley Quinn, and a bunch of other lesser-known DC characters.
He said he wanted to go with ones that are ridiculous, nobody knows of, and would have at least interesting superpowers he could mess with.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, that he could play around with, and in his words, complete losers almost.
And Nanawe, King Shark, right?
Yeah.
Who was probably one of the funniest, just for hand.
You know who voiced him, right?
Mm-hmm. But they killed off Peacemaker, only they didn't, because they had already intended to write or do a TV series with him for HBO Max, which is what this was. And it sort of picks up where it left off, or a few months later.
We probably should have prefaced this at the beginning that it was going to be spoilers.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. I mean,
well, and the Suicide
Squad, but oopsie. But yeah, so spoilers from here on out.
For the show,
at least. But it opens with him getting released from the hospital and trying to go back to his mouth, because people don't have hic dropping out of their mouth whenever they open it. But it's small town America.
He figured he was Scott Clear. I loved the interaction at the very beginning of him
and the janitor.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, those sorts of interactions are okay, but if I'm honest, I don't like some of the dialogue. It's like too much. They're going too much for the foul language and stuff here. It's like this has been, if I'm honest, this has been an issue I've had with a lot of HBO Max stuff. I haven't finished watching it, but Genlock season 2. Originally, Genlock season 1 had been Rooster Teeth exclusive. It had been on their RT First subscription service. But then, because they're owned by Warner Brothers was like, we're going to make season 2, but we're going to put it on HBO Max. And it's like, once they put it on HBO Max, they're like, okay, now we can make it more adult. Not that it was like kiddie stuff before, but it's like they turned up the foul language. And they put a sex scene in there. A pointless sex scene. It's like, just because they can. I don't like when they decide to do that. It's like, we're not on conventional cable anymore. We don't really have to adhere to any sort of restrictions. It just feels like that's what
I haven't seen it, so I don't have much say on that one.
But I feel like that was sort of the same thing here. Yeah, it's not like the Suicide Squad was short on violence and foul language and sex, but it feels like it felt like they took it up a further notch.
I think this was all James Gunn just playing around.
Yeah, but
a lot of his stuff is just slipped in foul language, because, I mean, how we talk here, we talk when it's not business, when not work related, just the F word comes out like every other word just because it fits.
Yeah, that we don't have to hold back when we're
so when we're watching
not
show,
in public or not at work. So
I mean, if it's I didn't notice it as hard as you might have with it.
Like I said, that's just how it felt to me.
But his interactions with the janitor was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I like that back and forth.
The sitcom arch nemesis vibe he's got going with Economos, Diebeard.
Oh.
As Peacemaker calls him, because he is convinced that the guy dyes his beard.
It's like 3 different colors.
And the guy tries to defend it. It's like, I've always had weird colored hair. And it's just... but
so he thinks he makes it out.
Yeah.
Gets to his place, and then...
Surprise!
Surprise subsidiaries that work directly under the supervision of Amanda Waller.
Yeah. This guy, Clemson Mern. Never heard of the character, so I don't know if he is canonical or not.
Says, well, we weren't going to let you just go. Like, you think we're stupid?
You only served 5 years of your 30-year sentence. Did you think you were free and clear? And he's like, yeah.
He's like, well, I killed Rick Flag. It's like, well, that wasn't your mission. It's like, my mission was to keep this
Project Starfish from coming out. You're welcome.
Well, I mean, Idris Elba currently has it.
Yeah.
So whatever might happen with that.
Yeah, but I don't know how much Peacemaker is aware of that.
Well, I mean, he did have it, then got shot.
Yeah, and in Peacemaker's mind, it's like, I kept true to the mission. I stayed loyal to
and that's why
Task Force X.
They said, and that's why we're going to keep you out, but we need you to work on some other projects out here.
Namely this one.
Project Butterfly. So he's like, okay, whatever. Keeps me out of jail. They pal around. We get to know the characters a little bit more.
Yeah, we're introduced to his Task Force X handlers. There's Mern, who's some mercenary that now works for Waller.
Yeah.
We do know that he actually does work for Waller, because we saw Leota communicating with her on Skype or whatever, FaceTime. And so we know that there is an actual connection there. This isn't just some guy that did work for Task Force X that just got his hands on Peacemaker's files. Like,
and the other two were on Amanda's shit list from the happenings at the end of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we had and those were Economos, Diebeard, and Harcourt.
Yeah,
and then we're also introduced to Leota.
She has a different name.
What?
She has a different name.
That's her last name, Attaboy.
Oh. That's right. So...
who is Waller's daughter?
Yeah. Waller's daughter. And they didn't mention this, but this is in a deleted scene, because I watched an interview with James Gunn. The person that hit her in the back, that hit Amanda Waller in the back of the head at the end of the movie, there's a deleted scene where she's getting drug off to jail.
They showed a clip of that in the previews, like previously on the Suicide Squad.
He held that out for the TV show. Also, that's Amanda Waller's cousin.
Oh, the chick that clubbed her with the golf club?
Showing she means business. You fuck with me, I fuck with you back harder.
Doesn't matter if you're related to me or not.
And family doesn't matter. Even her daughter is on the chopping block.
Amanda Waller is a cold bitch.
She does what she needs to do to get things done.
Yes.
I don't agree that she was just going to blow up, kill the entire Task Force X.
Oh, I believe it.
No, I mean, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But all of her methods have a reason.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that was her power tripping.
And Amanda Waller's always been that sort of character.
And I'm not sure.
There was a scene in the Justice League cartoon when the Justice League met up with her, and Batman tries to do his Batman thing to intimidate her, and she's like, "You don't scare me, rich boy." And Batman has actually looked surprised when she said that. It's like, yeah, her saying that just basically told him, "Yeah, I know who you are. You don't scare me."
Oh, well, at least you keep that to yourself. Thank you.
But And along the way, we're also introduced to some of the other characters around Evergreen, like Peacemaker's dad.
Yeah.
Ransom Smith, that's what it was. I tried to remember what his middle name was because when the cops showed up at his
they
doorstep
did his
the
full
first
name.
time. They did his full name, August Ransom Smith. He is a racist piece of shit, like anti-woke.
Yeah.
And there's way more going on with him.
Love the little touches when he's walking into his dad's house and he has Alex Jones on.
Yeah,
that told
you everything you needed to know about the character right there.
Well, we knew all we needed to know about the character at first, about how he raised, what he did to his son.
But then it's like you learn that there's way more going on with him, like the hyperspace closet,
right?
Where this is like a one level, like shotgun house, sort of, small town America, ranch house, and he just goes up to a closet, punches in a code on a pretty fancy keyboard lock, number pad lock, and then opens the door into the fucking TARDIS, into the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. It's like guns, lots of guns, spare armor, and helmets for. And
so I'm assuming he was the original Peacekeeper.
Peacemaker.
Damn it! I keep saying doing that.
Well,
Peacemaker. Right. Because he's like, okay, what happened? Why do you need another helmet?
We also out there was the scene where they're both sort of sat down eating breakfast, and he's trying to tell his dad about what he'd been doing, and his dad's just sat there completely unimpressed with any of it until he starts mentioning Bloodsport and how Bloodsport is scared of rats, and talked about what Bloodsport's dad did to him, and suddenly Robert Patrick, because that's who plays his dad, bursts out laughing.
Starts to choke on his cereal or whatever. And he went to go get him a glass of water. He goes, wait, don't tell me that's the one that shot you.
No, he was still laughing. He's like, please don't tell me that's the F word who shot you.
Yeah.
He did, I'm not going to repeat some of the language that August Smith
Did he drop the heavy?
Which one?
Well, Bloodsport.
Oh, he has not dropped the N-bomb yet.
Okay.
But he dropped all sorts of pejoratives for a lot of other things. The F word,
that's the mildest he said.
F star. not the F bomb, but slur for a gay person.
Oh yeah.
But he was dropping like slurs for all sorts of other
everything.
And then there's like when the cops showed up at his door and he started throwing racist language at the Asian cop, calling her chopsticks. It's just like, I was like, that's... He turned to the white cop and was like, I don't have any problems answering questions from you. It's just I don't really like Egg Foo Young, if you know what I'm saying.
I was like...
Good Lord.
Well, if they want you to... I mean, Gunn knows how to make you hate somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And if you didn't hate him at the very beginning, I mean, you'll hate him towards the end of the 3 episodes.
Well, episode 2 is where he gets locked up because... reasons. It takes a little bit of explaining.
It was episode 3.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
That the scene where he's at the jail?
Because it was the 3rd episode where all the stuff went down and they had to.
I mean, I know that's
episode 2. Maybe it was.
Episode 2 was like the follow up to him having to fight with the butterfly in the apartment.
Let's go back to Cena trying to get his noodle wet.
Yeah, because he's been in prison for 4 years.
So. They all meet up at a restaurant, and he comes fully decked out after meeting his dad. As the
Task Force X-Force folks put it, in full cosplay mode.
Yeah. And they're like, You
came in your costume?
We're doing an undercover mission, and you came
in full costume. It's not a costume, it's a uniform. It strikes fear into the hearts of the people I kill. It's like, yeah, he is like 100%...
You could see his
100%
dad
believes in...
You could see the stuff that his dad is pretty much ingrained in him he was like, hey, sweet cheeks, and he's like snapping and whistling at the...
Yeah, as soon as he did that, I'm like, I thought I was supposed to like this guy if he's the protagonist.
Well, you start to see him hate who he's become when he starts getting told, like, nobody likes me. Everyone's calling me a loser.
Peacemaker,
I'm
what a joke.
Idiot. What a joke. And he's like, is this... Have I been doing things wrong this whole time?
Answer, yes. Yes, you have.
So, that was one of the things Gunn said he wanted to do, was take somebody that you could seemingly never like and put a spin on it to where
it's like
you start to understand,
give him the redemption arc, maybe. And yeah, I could see that, but after all this, he drives off in his star-spangled muscle car with his pet eagle, Eagly.
Oh yeah, he had to go back to he went to his dad's to get a new helmet because he gave it to
and
the cabbie because he had no money because he just got out of, he was in prison. That's why he went to go to his dad's to get a helmet and to get Eagly and his vehicle.
Yep, and Eagly is like 100% loyal to him. Gives him a hug when he sees him.
I'm shocked his dad was taking care of him for the last 5 years.
Well, I could see, his dad being like, I can't kill a bald eagle. As racist and as an unpleasant person as he is, strikes me as just the right kind of warped patriot that I can't kill a bald eagle.
Yeah, I could see that.
No matter how much of a failure he thinks his son is, he wouldn't kill a bald eagle.
So he sees the one girl of their group,
the Harcourt, yeah.
Well, no.
Because he sort of had an interaction with both Harcourt and Leota, because he had
they have a nice heart to heart.
Yeah, it's just sort of like he got on well enough with Leota, and he's just like Eagly.
Because she laughed at one of his jokes.
Yeah,
and he's like, okay, cool. I'm not a terrible person to her. Great, even though even the janitor thought he was a racist asshole. I was like, oh, you're that racist supervillain. He's like,
superhero.
But what? I'm a superhero, I'm not racist. I kill just as many white people as I do to anybody else.
I've killed white people too. It's like, yeah, but and the janitor's like, the proportions are kind of off. That makes you seem kind of racist. But that's okay. Vigilante made up for it, at least according to Vigilante. But
I love
Vigilante.
Vigilante's a goofball.
Especially all the voicemail messages that have been left behind.
There's 57 voicemail messages.
It's literally every single day.
You want to go watch this? Oh, we can go see a movie. Oh, let's
I heard about this heroin deal that's going down.
Come on, could use a team up. So
yeah,
he's driving past, sees her going. He's like, all right, let me go. This is my chance to make my move.
Yeah.
Goes in there. She's already being harassed by the local hicks, giving her.
Well, yeah. One guy goes up to her and tries to hit on her. Actually, strokes her hand, and I was just like, "Wow, okay,
that's forward.
That's very forward."
Oh, he must have been drunk already.
And yeah, he he tried some pickup line, and she's just sort of and made some crack about getting rid of rotten fish breath, and he immediately goes into hostile Chad mode.
Going back to his friends and getting all pissed off.
Well, no, yeah, and then one of his friends gets so pissed off about what this guy has told him, he storms over to her and starts calling her an ugly fucking. Starts to say the C word, which is when she just basically throat jabs him and then just
And this was when Cena had already walked.
Yeah,
well,
Peacemaker had walked in and
sat down and started talking to her. I'll have what she's having, kind of thing. And then that starts to go on, and looked like he was about ready to get up to I'm going to defend her honor. And
she just proves, I don't need you to defend me from these assholes.
And at that point, he was just full on, I want to bone you.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. I haven't been with a woman.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't been with anyone. I haven't been with a woman. Because he actually said, I haven't been with anyone, and then he clarified it with a woman.
That was actually added by John Cena himself.
I'm not surprised. John Cena is just quick enough on the draw.
Because there was no talk between anybody that this was how he was going to be. Mm. That he was going to be, he's 100% like his dad almost. Well, Cena was the one that made it. Let's take this avenue.
Yeah, Cena was one of the few people that WWE would let improv on their promos. So many others were heavily scripted.
You need to see that interview with the director James Gunn, man. Okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but after she basically turns him down, he's Peacemaker spots this other chick
Looked like she's straight out of a hair metal groupie.
Yeah. And they sort of make eyes at one another, and then cut to they're banging.
They're banging. And fair warning about the first episode at least, you see a good amount of John Cena ass.
Mm-hmm. And then he's in his
tidy whities for the rest of that episode.
Pretty bulgy tidy whities too.
Well, John Cena made
Peacemaker made a joke about how it's too big.
It's too big. You're going to be in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
How he does it with a fucking straight face, I just don't know.
It's because he's said how much ridiculous shit in WWE for so long.
Yeah.
Especially when he was still doing the rapper gimmick and the stuff that he was saying there. He would just do it dead ass serious.
While they're back at the place, she's brushing her teeth, freshening up. Then all of a sudden, he's like, cool. I'm going to check out your record collection.
And he's
shit.
And he's marking out about some of the records that she has. It's just like, I saw Choir Boys when they came through Evergreen when I was a kid.
And he's like puts on the record, starts singing into a vibrator.
Using the vibrator as a microphone. I was just like,
shit.
Wow.
Apparently, I didn't read the article, but it was like the blurb of the article, the part that made him the most uncomfortable, and it just showed a picture of him doing that. Which I don't know if that's true. It
could just be him. Blowing smoke up the interviewer's ass just to see what he could say that they would believe.
So she starts to twitch out and then goes to attack him.
She goes full body snatcher.
And he's like, what the fuck? At first he's just like not even fighting back. He's just like trying to defend himself. And he's like, well, fucking hell, really? And starts fighting back. She ends up throwing his ass through a wall, and he's like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
Jumps out the fucking window of a 5th floor.
Yeah.
Mind you, he is not superhuman.
He took a bunch of knives to, knife wounds. Oh,
stabs.
He's still doing this while he's recovering from having a broken collarbone.
Which he also jumped and landed on out the 5th floor.
And then he basically staggers his way to his car, and she jumps out the window, full superhero landing.
Oh yeah,
because of course,
running straight for me, scrambles to put the helmet on,
which had a new feature that his dad had put in it for a sonic boom. It puts a shield over him, and then.
And it just annihilated the skin from her body.
It turned her into chunky salsa.
You know how everyone's like, oh man, check out these shows on Netflix. Oh, they look good. The graphics are kind of good. The CGI
HBO Max is just like, yeah, give us your lunch money.
Was amazing.
Yeah. For all that Netflix stuff gets praise, and rightly so in a lot of cases, HBO Max is like, yeah, give me your lunch money. And that's sort of the end of the first episode, and the second episode deals with the.
We find out that that's one of the butterflies, what they're trying to take out and eliminate.
Well, what they told him he was going to do was take out a U.S. senator
that was a butterfly.
That was part of some this Project Butterfly. But then we find out that a butterfly is a thing, not just some project, kind of like Project Starfish,
which was actually a stuff, and he even
which
mentions
actually was Starro.
I thought that was hilarious that he mentioned. He's like, you guys have some pretty lame ass names for these things.
Yeah, but like the next episode, he calls up Harcourt and just explains what's happened, and she's immediately like, oh fuck. She rallies the team. It's just like Peacemaker just fucked a butterfly, and they get there and they're basically
the cops surrounded by the cops, can't do anything about it.
He takes Peacemaker ends up taking a couple hostage and has to tie them up.
Oh my god!
After he ransacks the butterfly's apartment,
he's just
steals all her records.
The records, anything that looked interesting to him. He had this weird little thing that
he grabbed her panties too and sniffed them on the way out, just to prove how much of a creep he is.
Again, I chalk it up to it's been 5 years.
I get the impression that even if it,
he is a deviant, but still. It also has been 5 years.
He is a perv. It's not just been in prison. He's fucking perv. Consider the dad. You know for a fact. And then there was the line in episode 3 where he was trying to reassure Leota that he's an ally to the gay community, to lesbians, and she's just like having a lesbian haircut doesn't make you an ally. He's like, you should see my porn collection.
I fucking love that shit.
It's just sort of like that doesn't make you an ally.
I fucking love that shit. Like the quick-wittedness of the comedy is what I really, really enjoy about the show.
Yeah.
Without diving too much into the other two episodes, since we did kind of a recap point to point episode 1. There's another character that he works with, Vigilante. He starts skulking around, then he gets caught up in the mix in episode 3 of the whole...
Although we got the great scene in episode 2 where they went out into the woods and shot up a bunch of appliances.
That was good shit.
Yeah.
That was
literally just a couple dudes blowing off steam. With literally every weapon at their disposal.
Because he was in his room, not crying.
Yes, I was doing facial exercises.
It's like, from here it looks like you're crying.
I was doing facial exercises.
So he noticed his friend was hurting.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, let's go do this."
I've been stocking up appliances and shit, man. And then they just literally go out there and blow up a bunch of stuff.
And mind you, Vigilante's
like shooting a smiley face into a washing machine, and then Peacemaker shoots a dryer with a peace symbol into it.
It's good stuff.
He's a better artist with bullet holes than he is with a Sharpie.
Yeah, we noticed that one. It's like
every time I try to draw the Dove of Peace, it looks like a ghost.
and we noticed the him trying to change himself throughout these 3 episodes.
Yeah, he's just like realizing people don't like me. I need to do better. But he's just because of all the shit his dad put into his head,
and he just needs to he's trying to get over that.
Yeah,
and I think that's the whole thing. They pin the blame of the whole incident at the hotel with the butterfly on his dad. And that puts him in jail.
That was Diebeard's decision, which Myrn wasn't happy with. It's like, we're trying to get Peacemaker on our side, and your idea to do that is to frame his dad?
He's like, I don't know, I fucking panicked. You were in the bathroom.
I didn't know if you were going number 1 or number 2. It's like, should I text you what I'm doing in the bathroom? Well, yeah.
I mean, the dynamic for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's
so fucked up.
It's weird. It's like everyone's an asshole except for Leota.
Well, but even then, you get the impression that, she is... It's like she saw what her mom was like, and is like, I'm not going to be like her. But she's still sort of caught up in all of Waller's bullshit anyway.
Yeah. So Hardcourt. She's not 100% terrible. She's just really pissy a lot.
Well, it's just like...
But you notice the little scene between her and Peacemaker...
in episode 3, yeah.
Where they just kind of have like a heart-to-heart kind of thing. It's like,
until
I don't know.
Vigilante showed up and sort of ruined everything.
It's like, man, that was really nice.
Yeah. It's like, look at it's like...
I think James Gunn is totally trying to play him as a fucking Deadpool-esque character.
Yeah.
There's no way you're
I got so many Deadpool vibes off of Vigilante.
And there was even an article about that. It's like, why Vigilante's better than... scene appearances are better than Deadpool. I'm like, huh?
I'm sorry, that is a high bar to clear.
I mean, unless you have a big thing against Ryan Reynolds, I mean, that's the only thing that I could see that somebody would have that big of a deal with.
But yeah, it was an interesting series. Episode 3 ended on one hell of a cliffhanger, with the computer screen showing the butterfly infiltration.
Oh, fuck. It's like they just set us up for a sequel movie. I'm like, good God. 3 episodes, practically movie length.
Well, and it's like episode 3 is where they finally send Peacemaker to do his assassination mission. And it's like on the drive there, they suddenly tell him, we don't know if he's a butterfly, and we don't know if the rest of his family might be butterflies. So you'll have to be willing to kill all of them. So you might need to kill all of them. Wife and kids.
We forgot to mention the bodyguard of the senator.
Judo master.
He's like 3 foot nothing.
He's like, yeah. Well, you looked him up online. He's like 5'4", but given that he's next to John Cena, he comes across as being like 3 feet tall, but still fully capable of kicking your ass.
Yeah, it was a badass scene where he's just taking everybody out because he's a martial arts master.
Yep.
Yeah. What about the scene?
It's literally there in the name, judo master.
And I want to say his outfit is comic accurate, most likely.
Probably.
It looks like it.
They strike me as trying to go more comic book accurate with some of the uniforms of anybody that's not one
ridiculous.
That's not part of the Justice League themselves.
And he whoops everybody's ass, catches Peacemaker,
and
Vigilante, and then starts to torture Vigilante.
Well, there's the scene where Judo Master is there and he's just flicking things at Peacemaker's face.
No, first it was him just eating Flamin' Hot Cheetos. He's like, hey man, what's that you got there? Flamin' Hot Cheetos? He's like, what, you want some? Yeah, right here. Opens his mouth and he just starts freaking power flicking them at his face in general, just trying to hit him. He's like, oh, he's kind of
and when the senator finally sends him away, as he's walking through the tunnel, he turns back, looks at Peacemaker, gives him the finger. Just like one last little fuck you.
That's another thing about this show. The middle fingers are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Middle fingers and the F-bomb.
Well, which, again, HBO Max. It's like... I feel like... If this were in a movie, yes. But if this were, it just feels like they're going more in with that sort of stuff on HBO Max than they would do if this were like a Netflix series. I feel like it wouldn't be.
Well, Netflix is trying to push as many viewers as possible. This is rated R to be rated R. We're going to let you know it's R.
Well, no, because Netflix will still do R-rated stuff, but I feel like if this were a Netflix series, they wouldn't be going in as hard with the F-bombs and the middle fingers.
Again, I think this is a lot of James Gunn.
Again, this is just my impression of it, which may not be the same as yours. This is just my opinion.
What I'm saying about it is they're letting Gunn do what Gunn wants to do.
Yeah. And
if Gunn wants to push the F-bomb...
well, it's like they're doing that because they realize if they don't give Gunn what he wants... Marvel will take him back.
Marvel already has. He's working on Guardians 3.
Well, there you go.
Like, he had the script finished. He's just filming now.
But it's just like they may have realized that nobody else could really do this the way he could.
I was watching a couple critics talk about Venom and how Venom Let There Be Carnage would have been so much better if Gunn was in the reins.
Oh, yeah. I overheard you talking with Chris about this the other day.
Because that is... And I'm thinking about, I was like, holy shit, James Gunn rated R Venom movie. Yes.
Sony, make it happen.
Sony, stop fucking up. No offense to the director of the second one, which was, I love him as an actor.
Andy Serkis?
Yeah, Andy Serkis. But and I don't know how much of that was studio interference, because that's
something you have to bear in mind when it comes to Sony, especially
because Carnage to me is not a PG-13 character.
No.
To me, they done fucked my boy up. They made him kind of a bitch, and didn't really do anything with bladed edges.
Let's consider the language that Venom probably would have used in movies. They pussied him. They made him into a pussy.
What are you, a pussy?
Yeah. But
it's
but Peacemaker so far,
I'm gonna finish it.
Sure. I know you're gonna finish.
It's only a six episode series.
Okay, so that's not gonna be too much of a stretch for me then. But it's just I'm gonna watch the rest of the series. Just I'm probably not gonna be like you and gotta watch it the next day that it's out. Not like with Book of Boba Fett or stuff like that. But Peacemaker it's hitting some of the right notes. Like I said, some of the content that they've decided to put into it, I'm not a huge fan of, but I can push through it because I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, Zeke was only interested to see more after the very end of the first episode. Mm-hmm. He said it wasn't really.
He hasn't finished watching all 3 episodes yet, so that's why he's not participating in this right now. We kind of wanted to get this done, and so it's still during the first week.
Yeah.
We may end up doing a rap cast for it.
I'm up for doing individual episodes as they come out if you want to, like that at least the weekend of.
We'll see. As you know, I'm dealing with some personal life stuff going on. I'm not going to get into it here on the Bingecast. But it's preoccupying my mind a lot of the time.
Maybe we'll hit some Jujutsu Kaisen sometime soon.
Yep, I still need to upload that. I have quite a bit backlogged. I've got upload. I've still got 8th MS Team to
see the new Hotel Transylvania that apparently is not in theaters anymore. It's Amazon Prime and it's out now.
Stuff coming out soon that we're all looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to Legend of Vox Machina on Prime Video later this month. I know you've seen the trailer for that, and it's got you intrigued. You haven't seen the trailer.
I'm trying to keep myself blind now at this point. Because everyone's like, "Oh, this looks really good."
I mean, okay, I cool. I could show you the trailer. It probably won't spoil much of anything because you won't have context for any of it.
That's fine. I'll be good. Better.
Yeah, but that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this edition of the Bingecast.
Right.
So, for Sam, I am Jay, and we will see you next time.
Oh fuck! It's Peacemaker.
Thanks for listening to the Bored to Death Bingecast. Be sure to check out our library of past podcasts via CKCC Radio or via our YouTube channel, and give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you after our next binge.